Good evening, viewers. You are watching another edition of the in-house debate with me, Wasbir Hussain. BJP MLAs, who are the dominant players in the Manipur political theatre, appear desperate to form what they call a popular government in the state, ending almost 10 months of president's rule. In this initiative, the other major ally that is lending support appears to be the Naga People's Front, which has 5 MLAs in the 60-member assembly. Earlier today, BJP's Northeast Coordinator Sambit Patra and Party National General Secretary B.L. Santosh arrived in Imphal, and obviously, of course, they had talks with the party legislators. They had talks with the party legislators and they had discussed organizational matters as well as the issue of popular government figured in these discussions. Now, the two senior leaders held a meeting with as many as 29 BJP MLAs in Imphal. Both Santosh and Sambit Patra are set to visit Churachandpur tomorrow, and obviously they are going to meet their party MLAs and others in Churachandpur during that visit tomorrow, which is considered a significant visit because the BJP's Kukijo MLAs numbering 7 have also been out of the governance process since the ethnic violence broke out in May 2023. The big question is, if at all a so-called popular government is formed, will the BJP's 7 Kuki-Jo MLAs be a part of the government? That is the big question. One is asking this question because apart from the security issue that has prevented or prohibited the MLAs from taking part in any meeting in Imphal in the last 3 years, the apex body of the Kuki-Jo community who has also come up with a standing directive. They have a standing directive asking their MLAs, the Kuki-Jo MLAs, not to take part in any government formation process. Now, in this situation, will the BJP High Command be able to break the stalemate? This is the focus in the in-house debate today, and I have with me on my left is our senior anchor Kavita Upadhyay, and to her left is our chief news editor Nabarun Goswami. Before we begin the discussions, let us listen to what two of the BJP MLAs, Sapam Ranjan and T. Robindra, said after that meeting that was held in Imphal with Sambit Patra and B.L. Santosh. Let's first listen to Sapam Ranjan and then we'll go to T. Robindra.
This meeting was perhaps to strengthen the party organization, to be much stronger than it was before, and it was mainly of party organization.
Any points regarding popular government?
Yes, he did reiterate that they will find ways to form a popular government.
Is there a new government is likely to form within November?
No, we cannot just it cannot just be overnight. There are some certain process which needs to be taken up to form a government. Nothing on that. It was mainly to strengthen the party organization.
Government has to be there so that people are, we know like some people are not happy with us. To bring back new hope to the people, government has to be there. To listen to the complaints of the public, to listen to the public whatever they want. Without the government, it's not possible.
So, is there any discussion on forming a new government? No.
For the government, there is no anything like that. Whosoever is elected, there is no anything just like that. There is a confusion for the leaders and all that. There is nothing like that. And in the family BJP centers, the leaders are always chosen by the centers. But this time, what we are asking is like, when they choose the leader, they all have to listen to all the MLA's opinions. And only then the center will be good, and the BJP party's central government has to be there, not someone's central government that we don't want.
Well, very, very cautious there, Sapam Ranjan and T. Robindra after that meeting, and basically tried to drive home the point that party's organizational structure needs to be strengthened because they admitted that the people are unhappy with them, and therefore that was the main purpose of that meeting. Also, of course, they emphasized the need for the formation of a government. a few days ago, the top BJP leader and former Chief Minister N. Biren Singh spoke about the situation. He said that the bureaucracy or the bureaucrats do not have the wherewithal to actually deal with the people's issues, or they, unlike the elected representatives, don't understand the people's aspirations. Let's listen to what Biren Singh had said.
देखो, ये प्रेसिडेंशियल रूल जो है ये लोग भी काम कर रहा है, लेकिन हाँ हम लोग का जो बिलीव है इतना तो लेवल में नहीं है, ये एवरीबॉडी नोज, क्योंकि वो लोग में भी गैप होगा, क्योंकि ब्यूरोक्रेसी लोग में फाइल चलाने में, एक फाइल चलाने में वो पूछते रहता है क्वेश्चन, क्योंकि इसमें एक काम करने में पॉपुलर मिनिस्ट्री और ये पीआर में क्या फ़र्क है। पॉपुलर मिनिस्ट्री में हम लोग पब्लिक का है बोल के रिस्क लेता है, लेकिन ये लोग जो है, ये ब्यूरोक्रेट जो है वो सिस्टम में ज़्यादा जाता है। तो हम लोग कभी आग जल गया, आग सामने आग जल रहा है, उसके लिए ये प्रोसेस फाइल में अप्रूव करना ज़रूरी है क्या? फ्लड आ गया, रिवर बैंक डोल रहा है, उसके लिए हम लोग फाइल चलना ज़रूरी है क्या? इमीडिएटली अपने काम है फायर को बुझाना और वाटर फ्लड को रुकना। ये सिस्टम पॉपुलर मिनिस्ट्री में है, लेकिन ये ब्यूरोक्रेसी में ये नहीं है, क्योंकि वो लोग डरता है सब, ये करने से क्या होगा। लेकिन हम लोग का है, पहले आग बुझाओ, पहले पानी को रिवर बैंक को बंद करो, तब प्रोसेस करना, क्योंकि सेफ्टी, पब्लिक सेफ्टी इज़ द प्रायोरिटी। हम लोग दिल्ली में रिसेंटली गया था, हम 30 एमएलए गया, 25 एमएलए गया था, 3-4 रात नहीं आया, तो 25 एमएलए एक साथ बैठ के नॉर्थ ईस्ट का इंचार्ज समित पत्र जी खुद आए भवन में, हम 25 साथ बैठ के मिला और उसमें हमने रिक्वेस्ट किया, मणिपुर का पब्लिक का डिमांड है और अपने भी डिमांड है कि पॉपुलर मिनिस्ट्री रखिए और आईडीपी वगैरह का ज़्यादा जो व्हाट दे आर फेसिंग, इसको हम लोग सॉल्व करना चाहता है और ये पॉपुलर मिनिस्ट्री नहीं आने से नहीं होगा।
Well, that was a very, very clear-cut, unambiguous statement by former Chief Minister N. Biren Singh, where he says that bureaucrats go through the official governmental regulations and system, therefore things doesn't get worked out, and the elected representatives, they work in the interest of the people and therefore are capable of taking risks, because Manipur need decisive action, and that is what is not happening. And he also said that they had gone to New Delhi, 25 odd MLAs had gone to New Delhi, and they are talking about the need for setting up a quote-unquote popular government. And before we begin the discussions, there's breaking story is that Samit Patra and BL Santosh will arrive in Churachandpur around 8:30 tomorrow morning. They are going to meet IDPs in relief camps, and BL Santosh will meet IDPs in relief camps, and the team will also meet MLAs at the Deputy Commissioner's office, and they will also meet the civil society organizations like the people representatives from the Zomi Council, Kuki Zomi Council, and so on. Thereafter, the team of BL Santosh and Samit Patra are scheduled to travel to Senapati. So this is the being about the visit of the two leaders from New Delhi, two BJP leaders from New Delhi. Now, Nabarun, you see, Biren Singh there talking about the need for a so-called popular government. That is the term used. No legislator, no BJP legislator, particularly in Manipur, talks about the reinstallation of that government, because the assembly is kept in animated suspension, not dissolved. And they're talking about reinstallation of government. But instead of talking about reinstallation of the government, they always use the word popular government. But the thing is, tomorrow they're going to visit Churachandpur. There are 7 BJP MLAs among the 10 Kukizo community MLAs. Are they going to be part of the government formation process, because they have a standing directive from their apex body that none of you will participate in the government formation process? How challenging is it for the BJP itself to deal with the situation?
It's definitely very challenging. By now we know this very clearly, Wasbir. If it would not have been challenging, the popular government, as they call it, would have been formed by now, would have been installed by now. Now, one thing is clear, that the BJP MLAs, at least those in the Imphal Valley, desperately want this popular government to be in place, because today we heard T. Ravindra, he has admitted that we know people are not happy with us.
Yes.
Mind you, 2027, just a year and a half to go, Manipur is staring at another elections. Elections may be delayed by maximum 6 months due to the situation, but in all probability it will be held in 2027. If a popular government is not formed quickly, and if these MLAs, they probably feel that if they do not get at least a year to go back to the people with something, it will be very difficult for them come 2027 to go and contest out there. And that's why clearly they are saying it's for the sake of the people, we want to serve the people, reach out to them, it's a popular demand, that's why we want this popular government in place.
Okay, now Kavita, jo bhi dal ho, in this case BJP, Bhajpa was the dominant player, it was the major partner in the alliance government in Manipur. बिरेन से के नेतृत्व में बीजेपी का सरकार था. ये वायलेंस के कारण उनको हटा दिया गया, प्रेसिडेंशियल इम्पोज किया पिछले फरवरी में. नाउ कोई भी दल जो है चुनाव में दे विल वांट टू गो टू द इलेक्शंस व्हाइल बीइंग इन पावर. पावर का बाहर रहते हुए दे विल नॉट प्रिफर to go to face an election. क्या बीजेपी के यही मतलब कोशिश है कि जैसे तैसे करके एक सरकार गठन करे, और गठन करते दे यूजिंग द वर्ड पॉपुलर गवर्नमेंट. अगर कुकी जो कम्युनिटी का कोई भी एमएलए इस सरकार अगर होता है तो उसमें नहीं रहता है, तो क्या ये पॉपुलर गवर्नमेंट माना जा सकता है?
बिल्कुल भी नहीं वसबीर. और जो रुचि दिखाई जा रही है केंद्र की तरफ से मणिपुर के हालत को सुधारने के लिए, वो स्वागत योग्य कदम है. लेकिन जो हालात है फिलहाल, क्या वैली के साथ ही हिल्स के नेता भी चाहते हैं कि पॉपुलर सरकार का गठन हो? कुकी जो कि नेताओं ने साफ कर दिया है, कुकी संगठनों का कहना है कि जब तक केंद्र शासित प्रदेश सरकार हमें नहीं मिलता, केंद्र शासित प्रदेश, तो वो उनकी ये मांग रही है, लेकिन सरकार का रुख साफ है कि ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. तो ऐसे में कुकी अपने स्टैंड पर क्या बरकरार रहेंगे, और अगर वो अपने स्टैंड पर बरकरार रह रहे हैं तो फिर पॉपुलर सरकार का गठन कैसे होगा?
That is the big question. अगर if the Kuki organizations are do not modify their diktat or their directive to their Kuki जो community MLAs not to participate in the government formation process, it will be really difficult for these Kuki जो MLAs to actually come and participate in the government formation process, even if a government is installed. So they will have to remain outside of the purview of the government in Imphal. So that is a big question. Now, another issue which is linked to this, number one, is that earlier this month, there was a meeting in New Delhi where the Sioux groups, the KNO and the UDF, they held talks with the central government, UPF, they held talks with the central government. Mr. A.K. Mishra, the interlocutor, presided over this meeting representing the government of India. Now, there are reports which have come out saying that the central government at this point in time, the central government leaders who attended the meeting are reported to have told this delegation, Sioux delegation, that the government of India at this juncture is not in a position to back the demand for creation of a separate administration, or meaning a separate union territory. Now, if the Kuki-Jo leaders, whether it is the apex body, whether it is civil society, whether it is the party MLAs, if they decide to stick to the demand that unless we get a separate administration, we are not going to participate in anything. So if they continue to stick to this, that means the stalemate is going to continue.
Absolutely. Well, in fact, it's a joint statement of the KNO and the UPF, which quoted A.K. Mishra saying that yes, we do recognize the concerns of the Kuki community, but at this point in time, as you mentioned, the current policy doesn't support the creation of new union territories. However, we have seen over the last 3 years, or at least the last 2.5 years, that the community has stood firm on its demand for a separate administration. There has been no budging from that. Every time there has been effort to do something to normalize, it has gone back to square one. Things are no different at this point in time. This again is also stopping the Kukis or MLAs from being part of any new political initiative, because they cannot go against their people. So the stalemate continues, and that is the challenge for the central leadership of the BJP, and probably that is something which has stopped the central leadership so far from installing a so-called popular government in the state, because they know without the participation of the Kukis or community, it will not be
Another thing I'd like to highlight here is that, during the run-up to the president's rule, we have seen the people's anger on the streets, how the elected representatives were targeted. Since BJP was the dominant player, most of the people targeted belonged to the BJP, and there is nothing surprising about that because BJP was the dominant partner and the chief minister belonged to the BJP. So the BJP legislators who were elected by the same people, and the same people started venting their anger against them. Their houses were torched, and there was large-scale violence actually. Now, in view of this, as T. Robindra said, that people are angry with us. He has admitted. Now, do you think it will be very, very difficult, and BJP is well aware of this fact, because BJP, there is no party in the country who knows election, engineering better than the BJP. So they are definitely aware of the people's anger. Therefore, they want to desperately trying to form a quote-unquote popular government. They are under pressure, isn't it?
नवरुण, इसका जवाब अगर मैं देना
Yeah.
चाहूँगी, कुछ दिनों पहले एल रामेश्वर मेते ने उन्होंने कहा था कि अगर पॉपुलर सरकार अगर नहीं बनी तो भाजपा की स्थिति पूरी तरह से कमज़ोर होने वाली है मणिपुर में। जिस तरह के प्रदर्शन हुए, हमने सभी ने देखा कि जिस तरह से भाजपा विधायकों को निशाना बनाया गया, उसके बाद उनको सभी को मालूम है कि अच्छा नहीं है रिस्पॉन्स लोगों का उनके प्रति, लेकिन उसके बावजूद वो चाहते हैं कि सरकार गठन हो, क्योंकि फिलहाल समय की मांग है कि सरकार बने मणिपुर में और भाजपा की स्थिति अच्छी हो, क्योंकि मौका मिलेगा उन्हें अगले साल काम करने के लिए।
लेकिन see, it's the need of the hour. अगर बनता है तो कैन दे साइडलाइन ए पर्टिकुलर कम्युनिटी? 10 MLA है, 7 बीजेपी का है, कुकीजो का कम्युनिटी का बीच में, तो is it possible? ये क्या, what purpose is it going to serve?
Absolutely. In fact, the center has two dilemmas here. One, as you just mentioned, without the 10 Kukizo MLAs, can a popular government be formed?
And can it be called a popular government
and
even
can
if
it
it
be called
formed?
a popular government? It doesn't solve the crisis, it doesn't serve the purpose. Second is, we have to agree that since the imposition of the president's rule, at least in the last 6 months, there has been peace in Manipur. We have not heard of any violence, no violence even in the periphery areas. Things are peaceful right
By
now.
and large.
By and large peaceful.
Although there are undercurrents, let me say that.
Definitely,
Yeah.
there are undercurrents, and hence the situation is not fully normal. So the dilemma for the center is also that if tomorrow the president's rule is lifted and there is a popular government in place, and if there is would it want to take a chance again with the law and order situation?
That will make if that happens again,
If that happens,
then the ruling party, whichever comes,
absolutely.
And since BJP has about 30 MLAs, so it has to be the BJP-led government. Obviously, there is no, it's not a rocket science.
So probably what we are seeing right now, tomorrow, Samit Patra, BL Santosh going to Churachandpur, then to Senapati. Probably they are also looking to buy time for things to normalize more, probably more round of discussions, and maybe another 2 to 3 months.
Right, कविता, ये सारा जो मामला है, ये सिक्योरिटी सिचुएशन का ऊपर लिंक्ड है। तो ये कल का जो आइटिनरी है BL संतोष और संबित पात्रा का, अगर आप देखें, they are not going there to only meet the BJP MLAs. They are meeting civil society leaders. They are meeting MLAs. ये नहीं कहा गया है कि BJP MLA को मीट करेंगे. There could be any MLA out of the 10, and they are most importantly visiting the IDP relief camps. Now, इनका they are well aware of the fact that ये IDP issue जो है, इसको फर्स्ट रिजॉल्व करना पड़ेगा बिफोर ए गवर्नमेंट इज फॉर्म, बिकॉज अभी सरकार ने खुद एक डेडलाइन देकर रखा है कि दिसंबर तक ये आईडीपी रिहेबिलिटेशन प्रोसेस खत्म हो जाना चाहिए। लेकिन आईडीपी जो है, ज्यादातर लोगों का यही मांग है कि वो अपना जगह में चले जाए, नॉट इन सम प्री फैब्रिकेटेड हाउसेस और समवेयर, बट यही तो मुश्किल है। तो अभी भी सिचुएशन, परिस्थिति जो है अभी भी मतलब ये ठीक नहीं है कि वो अपने घर जो जहां से उनको उठाया गया था, जहां से उनको भागना पड़ा, दे कैन गो बैक देयर। तो ये क्राइसिस पहले सॉल्व करें, उसके बाद सरकार, तो दिस विल टेक अ लॉन्ग टाइम।
Yes, probably. See, one more thing some observers also feel is that despite numerous attempts, the center, the state, even all the intellectuals, nobody has been able to bring the Kukizo community and the Meitei community to the talks table so far. Even the CSOs which went to Delhi to meet the MHA even they, if you remember initial meets, they refused to sit together. So clearly the dialogue has not begun. Till the time dialogue doesn't begin, this IDP crisis cannot be solved. What can be done? We have tried, the centre has tried everything within Manipur, inside Manipur, to initiate the dialogue process. Some also feel that because the Act East policy is also suffering because of the condition in Myanmar, that is also contributing to things. One way to get people to interact with each other is economy. If we can set rolling, trade rolling, things get rolling, that is probably, you force people to get in touch for the sake of trade and commerce. That can also be
right.
tried.
Kavita, same question to you. आपका क्या विचार है? What do you think कि ये IDP का issue बिना solve करे, can they go ahead in government formation? जो 57,000 people जो है रिलीफ कैंप्स में है।
सरकार की अपनी तरफ से तो यही कोशिश है कि पहले सरकार मणिपुर में लोकप्रिय सरकार गठन करे, लेकिन पहले आईडीपी का समस्या को सुलझाना बहुत ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि उन्होंने माहौल को देखा है। जो विस्थापित लोग हैं वो पूरी तरह से डरे हुए हैं, और जो इन्होंने देखा है इन दिनों में वो सहमे हुए हैं। तो वो चाहते हैं कि जल्द से जल्द अपनी जो समस्या है वो पहले दूर की जाए, उसके बाद सरकार अपने बारे में सोचे।
Right. Another demand that has come, which cannot be, we cannot say that it is not concerned with the current situation or demand for formation of a government, is the issue of special intensive revision. Now, there are several groups in Manipur which have come up with open demands that there should be intensive revision of the electoral rolls process in Manipur. Now, this demand has come because there is a feeling that there are large-scale influx from across the border in Myanmar. Viewers, it is not about Bangladeshi migration as far as Manipur is concerned. They are talking about migration, illegal immigration from Myanmar. Nabarun, do you think this issue also has emerged now with the various groups demanding that there has to be a special intensive revision? Can the government face the 2027 elections by completely ignoring the fact that, because BJP was saying that there is large scale infiltration, it was the BJP which has been saying. Biren Singh, when he was the chief minister, he had written letters to the government of India. He said new villages have been set up by the people from across the border. And now, can the BJP or can the new government, whichever is formed, face the 2027 election without addressing this issue of a special intensive revision in Manipur?
See, as far as SIR is concerned, the Election Commission has made it amply clear that it will be a nationwide process, phase by phase. 12 states and union territories are undergoing the SIR now. In the next phase, more states will be covered. But if you talk specifically about Manipur, Wasbir, I have a feeling personally is that the centre would not like to comment on this issue right now. This demand for SIR that is actually coming up from the Imphal Valley can again give rise to tensions between the two communities. Right now there is peace. Again, if demand comes in again for the NRC process, for instance, that can again give rise to tension between the two communities, and Manipur cannot afford another phase of violence over anything. So that's why I don't think there will be much of a reaction from the centre to this. Yes, but definitely, as you said, it is gaining momentum in the Imphal Valley.
लेकिन मजबूर एक छोटी सी गलती अविश्वास को और बढ़ा सकती है। अगर लोगों को लगा कि हमारा नाम वोटर लिस्ट से भी कट जाएगा तो अविश्वास जो है और बढ़ेगा, जो भरोसा है वो घटेगा, क्योंकि डॉक्यूमेंट्स कहाँ से लाएंगे वो SIR के दौरान।
That is also a big question. Where are they going to gather the documents? And if the SIR is not done properly, there will be an impression that there is a large scale presence and the authorities are not been able to identify. So this question, it'll be like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, and something like an SIR again is not easy to implement in some parts of the northeast for various reasons. For instance, Assam and Manipur under the current circumstances, it will not be easy to get into SIR as of now. But one thing, Wasbir, my question to you, what could be playing in the mind of the BJP leadership? I mean, this is not the first time that Sambit Patra is here. Of course, this time BL Santosh is also accompanying right after the Bihar polls. What could they be thinking? Because they are also aware it will be very difficult actually to get the Kukizo MLAs on board, given that they have a diktat to follow also. Probably they are also helpless in this. And of course, we do not get into that the community has valid reasons for whatever.
I will ask a counter question to it. Now, we have heard what Biren Singh has said, that a popular government is absolutely a must. That's what the sum and substance of what he said. It has to be formed because the bureaucrats are unable to deal with issues as quickly as an elected representative or an elected government can, because the bureaucracy goes through a system. That's what he says is halting development and other activities in Manipur. Now the big question is, if the BJP is unable to form a government, that might also go against it. BJP is aware that they need to form a government, but if they cannot form the government for reasons which we know, then also it will come against the BJP. So the BJP is really in some kind of a dilemma as to what to do, how to get how to break this deadlock.
Sources say that a large section of the Valley MLAs are of the view that if the cookies or MLAs do not want to come, then ultimately we have to form a popular government without them. It cannot linger endlessly. That is also a general feeling.
लेकिन दोनों समुदायों को साथ लाना जरूरी है, नहीं तो माहौल और बिगड़ सकता है.
Yes, that is what. But if a government is formed again tomorrow, and if a certain section of MLAs representing certain communities are not present, first of all, you cannot call it a popular government. Number one. Number two, it might create a lot of fresh unrest that we are not represented. On one hand, the government says that the policy does not support creation of a separate union territory at this point in time. So the only, to my mind, before I wrap up, to my mind, the only way out with the government of India perhaps is to come out with some kind of a new formula as far as granting autonomy is concerned. Because initially, if you remember, before this violence broke out in May 2023, we have not heard of a separate administration demand by the Kuki organizations, Kuki Zoo organizations. The demand for a separate administration came only after the riots started in May 2023. So, what were they demanding before May 2023? The Kuki Zoo community and their leaders, they might have anything in their mind, but they had not expressed it in the public domain. They must have been thinking of a separate identity for themselves, but that did not come much in the public domain. I may be wrong, I am subject to correction. But they were definitely talking about more autonomy, more powers to the autonomous council, so on and so forth, because there was this committee for protection of the tribal Hilarious committee and so on and so forth. And Hilarious committee was quite powerful at that point of time, led by a cabinet minister under Biren Singh.
But the stand since the May 2023 ethnic unrest broke out has been separate administration or nothing. So probably they have to come down from that and be ready
Will they come down?
for dialogue and negotiation. What else can be done?
What else can be done? I think the government of India has to come up with a new kind of a formula to resolve this, break the deadlock. And as far as the BJP leadership is concerned, they have to try utmost and in forming a government, because they would definitely like to face the elections in 2027 while being at the helm of the administration in the state. Whether that is going to be easy is difficult to predict at this point in time. They have been trying, they have not been succeeded as yet. We'll have to wait and watch how things pan out in the days ahead. Thank you for watching the program. Good night and goodbye.